All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing idiots.
Convincing idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the Statman, not just anyone's opinion, the Statman Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the Millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. The Zennial.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And with a seamless intro, as if I have never been gone at all, I am your Millennial Nick. And if this is your first time joining us, like it is mine in quite some time, we are a group of
Check
three,
out the energy.
sometimes two friends who get together on a weekly basis and
Very
talk
weekly.
about nerd and pop culture topics, of which float our boat that particular week. So if you've not already done so, please be sure to go and follow, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment, all that stuff on all of our social media accounts, because we're on most all of them, all of which you can find links to on our Convincing Idiots link tree. Just Google Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE, and you will find all those links right there for you, so you can conveniently go and do all the things that I just commanded you to do. You can also find all that information on our website, and that is convincingidiots.wordpress.com on your very own World Wide Web. So if you can get access to a computer, please go and check out our website, poke around, and yeah, we would greatly appreciate that. So I have been MIA for a while. So I would like to know what my long lost bro hosts have been up to, at least in the last week that I have not spoken to you. And so let's start with Brian. Age before beauty.
There you go. Well, I spent a lot of time with Mr. Zennial Dean over the past week.
I'm sorry, that's terrible.
No.
He...
No, we had a nice time actually. So we did a
I don't want to
Facebook-
interrupt, but is your video, is he frozen on your end or no?
Dean is
He
frozen.
is. No, you are.
Brian's frozen, yes.
Yes,
on
Brian's
mine.
frozen.
Hmm.
We can hear you.
I mean, I can hear you, but you look very earnest and stern, which actually I wasn't sure if you had frozen or, I mean, that's often a face you make at Dean and myself, so I wasn't sure.
Well, when he mentioned that he spent so much time with me, that's naturally the face that happens.
Yeah, it just kind of became more. Yeah,
Bitter and angry.
Everybody-
Hey, he's back.
He's back, okay.
I'll just take a picture of myself like that and just put it up there. You guys won't know that much of a
Not bad.
difference. Yeah,
A judging face.
that's
Yes.
right. No, but it was nice. We Dean and I piloted a live Facebook Live episode last Wednesday to get ready for last Friday. So we did a live appearance at Ignite Brewing Company last Friday. Had a lot of fun. It's a beautiful evening. Had a good time. Some loved ones came out for that, so that was nice. Enjoyed that, and then got back together with Dean and Carter on Sunday, and we saw Thor together Sunday evening. So that was nice. We'll talk about Thor. I know you saw it tonight, Nick. So yeah, and then Saturday, had some friends over, watched a movie Outback. Just love the backyard projector setup and enjoyed that. Another perfect evening for movies. We watched. We'll talk about it here, but yeah, that's it. So that's a nice, fun, friend-filled few days.
Nice, fun, friend-filled few days. Wow.
That's right. How about that?
Goddamn. Can't beat that.
Yeah, that's right. Very good.
Well, for me, I was the friend that filled him.
No, nice.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
Actually, after Brian's, I don't think I need to go because he just told you everything on what I did.
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
Now we
He left out He left out the filling part, but that's
He
good to
did.
know.
Well, you save that for the main event. That's
Sure,
what he was
right.
holding that at the end.
That's it. Let's do a Patreon subscription. Might see some
Right.
of that, perhaps.
Yeah, give us some money, see what happens.
Yep.
Like Brian said, we did the live show last week at the Convincing Idiot Studio, the
Mhm.
secret bunker.
That's right.
Okay.
And then we did the live show at Ignite Brewings. I once again want to thank Ignite Brewery for having us, for allowing us to fill their ear holes with our beautiful sound. Other than that, I really haven't done much. Like I said, went to the movies, saw Thor, cut a hole in the bottom of the popcorn, had a good time.
It's a solid date night.
It is,
Yeah. That's right.
Nikolai,
Right on.
what about you? We got like
Well,
month of
I so many things that I've done and seen and places I've traveled that half of which I forgot. I don't even know. So I'll stick with
Sure.
the most recent of which. The reason that I have been gone, as you guys know, I had some family issues with my family in South Carolina. My grandparents lived down there for many years, or not many years, but last 10 years or so. We lost my grandfather in November. My grandmother had fallen ill. And so that's where I have been. She had not been in very good health as her health was declining. I was down there actually for the last 2 weeks to go be with her. And unfortunately, we lost her a week ago this past Monday. So, but, it was difficult, but I was very fortunate to be with my dad and my stepmom, my family down there. And then I was down there a week earlier, and then Robin and the boys flew down and met me. So very fortunate to have them there. I don't know what I would have done without them there, and my dad and my stepmother. So it was nice for us all to be together. It was a very tough time. My grandmother, my Oma, as I called her, is very important to me. And my Oma and Opa, my grandparents on my father's side, very intricate in my life, in my childhood and beyond. I mean, almost like a second set of parents really to me. So it was definitely a big loss, but I take comfort in knowing the fact that she's back with my Opa, my grandfather, and we miss her greatly, but she lived a very full and happy life. I'm just very grateful that I had 34 years with her, and that my kids got to know her. And, Robin really bonded with her, and that really means a lot to me. So I'm very fortunate that I had so much time with her, so many happy memories. So I count myself very, very blessed for that. And so that is where I have been. I have missed you both dearly. But we did, while we were down there, we actually last week was supposed to be our vacation anyway. We'd already scheduled that to go to South Carolina and see my grandmother, to see my dad and my stepmom. And
So you already had it on the books to find another turd in the ocean.
That's right. Yeah, I was already lining them up because actually that tends to be a really popular mating season for the turds in the water. They all meet at the shores right in that particular spot where I found them last time. So typically you can find the turds and the baby turds and all that stuff. But I am sad to report to you that no turds were handled by me on this particular trip. I did see something floating in the water while Lane and I were catching some waves. I was like, watch out, because that might be a shit. Just remember. Just remember. But no, we found some time we went to the beach and we swam and, went to Barefoot Landing in Myrtle Beach for anyone that's familiar with that area. That's fun, little outdoor shops and things like that. Wonderful brewery called Crooked Hammock Brewing Company that I've been to a couple times now that I really enjoy. Food's incredible, beer's incredible. So that's definitely a favorite spot.
You're incredible.
Well, thank you.
I'm really bad at insulting people now. You don't realize
you're fucking incredible. So
I haven't insulted you in so long that I forgot how to do it.
Well, I mean, it definitely softens the blow when I come and say that I've lost a grandparent. So if you come in on me right off the top, it's probably you're disarmed. I've disarmed you.
Yeah, you can't play that card every time I insult you. You're a piece of my. Oh,
yes,
okay.
That's right.
I'll just I'll sit here.
Yeah. But I am one of my favorite things in recent years of going to both, because South Carolina is where my grandparents lived in the Myrtle Beach area. My father and stepmom live in Calabash, North Carolina, which is just over the border of South Carolina. And right around the corner from them, by the way, Calabash apparently is known for their seafood. So I got to eat a good amount of seafood there, more than I'm used to getting to eat here at home, and it was phenomenal. But they have a craft beer store, kind of like our you would liken it to like the M&M Tap House in Barberton. If you it's, they don't brew there, but they bring a lot of different beers in, and it's a tap room, and you can go and buy make your 6-packs of pints and things like that. But they get a lot of local South and North Carolina beers, so I always come back with a treasure trove of beers, one of which I would like to shout out now. Dissolver is a brewery in Asheville, North Carolina, that I have grown very fond of. I've bought their beer the last few times I have been in North Carolina. This is not that one, but one of the beers that I bought was a pina colada, if I could speak, pina colada cheesecake style sour. That was
interesting.
The first beer I had from them was a blueberry.
That's exactly
cheesecake.
how they used to describe Brian in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know that.
A pina colada style cheesecake.
Mm-hmm. Sour.
Sour.
Yeah, well, look at him now. He don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially when he freezes.
Mm-hmm.
Big old salt and pepper sour pussy.
That's right. Yep. More bitter than sour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper sour puss.
That's right. Salt and pepper sour puss. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but we drove back Saturday straight through one shot. It was nice to get the drive over with 2 small children. I don't know how many times more I would do that, just because they get restless. And
how many hours you said?
It should have been what it should have been, or what it was.
Both.
What it should have been was like, you can make that drive in depending on traffic, 9.5 to 10 hours. You can drive with no stops and all that stuff. But by the time there were meals and gas
restroom
and
breaks,
pee stops and all that stuff, and then there was a Tim Hortons, I had to stop there.
Of course.
It was like 12.5, 13. So yeah, it was an all day affair.
Wow.
We were on the road by 6:30. Yeah, and we were back by 7:30. So it was an ordeal.
We're going to Tennessee in a couple weeks here, and it's 8 hours. We're stopping in 4, getting a hotel room. I ain't doing that. Nope.
That's a good call. That's what we usually do. We stop in Virginia. There's a place that's halfway in Virginia that we're used to stopping in. That's what we typically do. We did not do that this time because we thought, well, an extra, rather than split it up, we have an extra day with my dad and stepmom, and then then we'll just knock it out in one day. It's just going to suck, but we'll do it. And I wanted Sunday for sure to be here all day just to, settle in and whatnot. So that's what we did. But all in all, I mean, I don't say it was a good trip is not, necessarily, but for considering all things considered, we had a nice time. Like I said, I was very grateful to be with my family, and we did find some time to do some fun things. So pretty good trip, and, not under the best circumstances, but I am all the same glad to be back.
Well, I know Brian doesn't care anything, but I just want to tell you I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother.
Nick. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I remember going through that with my grandparents. So I was very close to my mom's parents, whose house this is that I'm in right now. So
yeah, same. This was my grandparents' house.
Yeah,
that I bought from them. Yep.
I often reflect on them, just memories in this house for years growing up, and yeah, I was in my early 30s when I lost both of them.
Brian's mom wants it back. He just won't answer the goddamn phone.
That's right.
Brian, I will say the similarities between us are striking sometimes. When I hear things like that or different, I mean, granted, obviously you're old enough to be my father, but you are so much.
That is true.
I don't even say that as a slight, but like you are so much like my dad as far as in interests and things like that. So a lot of the things that we bond over and stuff like that are things that my father introduced to me. And you being an only child and stuff, I feel there's definitely there's certain things that come up. I'm like, man, me and Brian have a lot of similarities.
Room.
I know, it's just he's got his Nintendo 64 shirt on. I just feel like we're one spirit here.
Well, I mean, I was their only grandson for many years, so my mom's younger brother did not have a his first child with my aunt until Scott actually. Scott's been on the show, so Scott was.
Oh yeah.
He came onto I was 18 years old when
So
Scott
he was the
born.
Simba to your Scar. You were
Yes.
like,
That's right. So
Yeah.
I had a lot of years. I was like they had like a statue of me out front and stuff. All that. A shrine.
yeah.
No, but it was a lot of good years there. I had a lot of quality time.
I bought that on
It
eBay
was-
if anybody wants to know.
Absolutely. So, anyways, I feel for you because I know it's very difficult because they were very loving grandparents, and I feel like yours. It seems like they were the same way for you, and so
Yeah,
I know it's a
absolutely.
very difficult time. So, definitely
Yeah.
condolences, brother. So
I appreciate
hang in
that.
there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I started to chuckle because when Dean had said that he bought the statue of you, I just picture him reaching up to the statue with the golden Dean head that he has and making him kiss.
Oh, they
No,
do.
kiss.
That'll happen somehow because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for real.
Don't you want to kiss me? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. That's right. Then do it.
Megan comes down. What's going on down here?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing good.
Just
he
polishing the statue.
He does have my Darth Vader carrying case in the background there, so don't do anything weird with that.
Don't tell me what to do.
I have teabagged every figurine slot inside this motherfucker.
I just go. One for you. One for you. One for you.
Ew. It wasn't worth
And then-
money, I tell you, to keep it.
Then it left a snail trail right across his lip.
Great. Great. All right. All right, so why don't we get in a little bit of idiot reviews? Obviously, we all saw Thor. We're not going to do any spoilers
Right.
here since it's still so recent. We will do that probably in a future episode. So, Nick, you just saw it tonight. So, what are your thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder, sir?
So I will start off by saying that of the Marvel superheroes that I would consider, let's say with more than one movie, Thor has been probably my favorite set of movies. So I'm a big fan of the Thor
Interesting.
franchise and all of their different, films and stuff like that. I say more than one movie because Black Panther is probably my favorite Marvel, but there's only been one. So the
Yep.
Thor movies across the board, I have really enjoyed. I did enjoy this movie. I found it entertaining. I found it very funny, and I like that the Thor movies, the first two, you can tell the split. The first two
yeah.
movies are like superhero
Yep.
movies. The
Yep.
last two movies are like comedy movies with a superhero focal point.
That's it.
And they're kind of leaning into that pretty hard, I felt, in this
Mhm.
movie. Like I said, we're not going to give anything away, but so I like that they're funny, and Chris Hemsworth plays that role really well. So I think, Robin and I were kind of talking about it after we left the theater, and she goes, was he, I don't know if he was like that in the comics, or I said, I don't think so. I think it's because
No.
the actor that they have in the role can do it so well that it's naturally just molded that way around Chris Hemsworth, which is fine. But
It's also
I
the
liked
writer and director of the two movies.
sure, yeah. But I liked Ragnarok a lot. I thought I was way funnier and way better than I expected it to be. And that was the
Yeah.
first time they leaned into the comedy aspect. This one, I feel like they lean a little harder into that. And it was still good. It was still entertaining, but I did not like, it was not my favorite Thor movie. It just was
Mhm.
really cheesy, over the top kind of, in some spots, which, hey, it's a superhero movie. And like I said, if you're watching these movies and you're familiar with what the Thor character has and the role he's played, not only in his own movies, but in the Avengers movies and with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he's definitely a comic relief in a lot of those films. So it's definitely, like I said, leaning really hard into that. For me, it was a little far to that side. Especially, I felt that like the villain's darker, we'll say that, and like it just it was a clash, but still enjoyable movie. I'm not mad I went to see it. I wasn't disappointed. It wasn't my favorite of the Thor movies, so I'll leave it there for now. What did you guys think when you saw it on Sunday?
For me, it was probably the greatest film ever made.
Mm-hmm.
No, I exactly the same stuff, man. I love Taika Waititi and everything he does. when I was writing and directing and stuff. And for his work, I loved it in that sense. I love the comedy. I love the silliness, but still had heart, and but it still had that superhero feel to it. I don't think I needed that much in a one of the Marvel movies. I think what really brings it home to me is that the villain. You guys know I'm not a Christian Bale fan, but he did so well. It really makes me think what he could have done in a more serious role.
Right.
Like, what could that character have done in a Ragnarok or the original Thor movie?
Yeah.
It's kind of bums me out to think about that, because like you said, it was very dark. The premise of his character and such was very dark, but also like a lot of most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think the ending and whatnot brings some really cool possibilities coming up into future stuff, not just Thor 4 or whatever it is, but because we know they're all connected. To see some of the stuff that has been laid out in the upcoming movies is very it's kind of cool, like, because other directors, other writers will take those characters and those premises that were laid upon us in this movie and make it something dark and cool, and I mean, could be dangerous. You know what I mean? You don't know what they're going to do, but the character and the premises, that does give me hope of what's coming up. But again, I say all that, I did enjoy the movie. It was what it was. It's not a spoiler. In the trailer, they show it. It's in the beginning of the movie when he does the split and stops the two cars coming at him. As soon as I saw that, it clicked to me. I'm like, okay, this is what we're watching. I automatically flip my brain into that mode, into like, okay, let's just enjoy the comedy, enjoy the action comedy of this, and don't get too caught up that it was a lot of goofy comedy. Again, not to say that it didn't land. They were funny jokes. It was funny, but it just didn't need to be. So to me, that's my review. I enjoyed it. Could have done a little darker, but for who it is, for what it is, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen the Christian Bale villain in like the first movie. You couldn't have. It wouldn't have been proper in the timeline.
Correct.
Once people see it more, we'll talk about it. But like to put him in that first movie, but like definitely when they were, those first two movies when they were aiming at Thor as the comic book version of Thor, like a darker version, a darker villain would have been great in one of those movies.
Offline, I'd like to discuss with you three the ending of the movie, because we're not going to do any spoilers. But
the ending or the end. Like the ending of the movie before the credits roll, or like ending after, like as things go.
Okay, both. All right, okay. Let's just stop recording. Good night, everybody. We're gonna. I really want to talk about the ending and what it means. So, anyways, that's later for another time, or we could have a discussion in a few weeks when everybody's seen it and we can give a spoiler review. So, Brian, what do you think?
I share a lot of the same opinions. I mean, I tend to keep my expectations low anyway for any Thor movie, just because I like the character in the comics. I'm interested in it, but I just, always kept my expectations low. I never was a super Thor fan per se, so I've never really been disappointed in any of the films, really. Ragnarok, like you say, was good. It was going it was a good balance of the funny and all that. But when they had the Devil's Anus vortex thing, and then they had Jeff Goldblum's ship, they had to talk about that. There's orgies on it. This is orgy ship. I'm like, really? I mean, it's like that moment there was like it sort of just went to a whole other unnecessary level of goofiness. Didn't need to do it. Jeff Goldblum and all that and this kind of just picked that right up where that movie sort of left off, with the level of, goofiness throughout. Like you say, Christian Bale's villain, terrific. The God Smasher, God Killer, God Smasher.
Was it not Grodd, because that was the dude from Superman? Gore the God Hunter, Killer, something.
Yeah.
Gore the God Butcher. Is that what it is? I think that's
There
it.
you go. Yeah, I think
Gore the
that's
God. I should fucking know. I just saw it like 2 hours ago.
That's all right. Like you say, great
It's-
portrayal. They didn't make him goofy at all. He was dark and angry,
Very menacing.
and tormented.
The last fight scene. I'm not giving anything away, but I love the cinematography of it.
Yeah,
The way that they decided to present it.
overall, it's like you guys said. If you're a Thor fan, you probably won't be disappointed in the movie. A lot of the effects are just tremendous. Like I said, just some of the bits and all that just seemed forced. I didn't need to see, for example, the jealous Stormbreaker axe throughout the entire movie. Like
to make mention of it once would have been fine, but
I mean, to do it repeatedly is like, I get it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. It's not a girlfriend. It's a weapon. We get it.
I agree.
Move on.
1,000%.
So, I don't know. So, but like I said, overall, I mean, Natalie Portman was awesome.
Yeah.
In this movie, I mean, she looked terrific. It was a great storyline for her that they took from the comics.
And see, and in that, I think the writer did well with that.
Yeah, she was really more of the. I mean, she was a co-focal point of this movie, rightfully, with the storyline. You know, so they really did a nice job with her in bringing in the female Thor character into this. So, yeah, again, probably more pros than cons, but just the cons and it just annoyed me a lot at times. So that was sort of my negative. But like you say, Dean, the setups for future stuff, we're not going to spoil it here. 2 credit scenes. If you haven't seen it, stay for both, mid-credit and very end. Both are definitely meaningful. I do want to talk about
one of those. I was talking about the general ending.
Yeah.
What they could do with that.
Sure.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But yeah, and I did watch, Dean, that same evening, the new Rockstars video to point out all this stuff. So we talked about those guys on prior episodes. So definitely it's a great compliment to the Thor movie. I picked up on a lot more stuff I thought I picked up, and it definitely reinforced a couple things and pointed out stuff that I missed. So like I said, overall, good stuff. They're setting up for more movies in the future. I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes I worry a little bit about the future of the Marvel universe. I don't know. I mean, there are some definitely interesting characters coming up, but I don't know that they have the same excitement and the same, the same dynamic, same excitement level, I guess, as some of the classic heroes. That's just what it is. It just is what it is.
How excited were you guys when you heard the Guardians of the Galaxy was happening? You know what I mean?
You're right. Not excited at all. It was just the way it was done, the way it was portrayed.
But then you watch it like, holy shit, that's awesome. But then again, on the other hand, you have the Eternals.
Yeah, awful.
Sure.
Or who could care less? I could care less about seeing any of those, anybody or anything from that movie again.
Yep, not needed.
I was thinking that at the end credit scene, as I was, kind of similar to what Brian was saying, as I'm like, it's at a certain point, is this going to bottom out? Because, and also, I mean, like I just said, I love the Thor franchise. I love the Thor movies. So if they're going to make a 4th Thor movie, I'm going to watch it. But at the same time, as it goes, I'm like, I remember being a kid and like every time, a new Batman movie came out, and the Batman movies were coming out every so often, but it wasn't like the Marvel stuff to where it was like, it almost feels like homework now. You have to watch all the things to really get everything and all the things. And I'm like, I don't care about all the kids. It's too, and I feel like they're not giving me a chance to miss anything. They're not giving me a chance to get excited about a new one because it hasn't been long enough. Like they just keep pumping shit out, and I feel like they're going to oversaturate.
Always be watching Disney Plus. Whether it is staggered from Marvel to Star Wars, Star Wars. Something's always going to be on.
And that was my fear. That was my fear of Star Wars when Disney took over. Is I'm like, man, if they start putting out Star Wars content the way they do Marvel, I'm like, is it gonna bore me, and it has in some ways. There are things that they've put out that are Star Wars franchise that I'm like, I don't care, and I don't want to feel that way about Star Wars stuff.
Were you here for the Obi-Wan Kenobi talk?
No, well, not since it's been over. No, because it's been 3 weeks.
Can we do that then? Holy shit! And it's been long enough. We can yell spoiler alert, right?
Yeah, we talked about the whole thing already.
It's been
I know,
3
but
weeks.
I want to know Nick's opinion.
Sure.
I love the series. I thought it was.
Hear that he goes, I don't give a fuck about Nick. Let's move on.
We're talking. Yeah, my brief review of it was I loved it, and I mean that was I loved it way more than the Book of Boba Fett. I liked it more than the Mandalorian, which is saying something because the Mandalorian first season of Mandalorian, to truth be told, was okay, and I was like, I'm interested. Second one was fantastic.
Right.
But there's the Bad Batch and the Andor, and I'm like, I don't even care about this stuff. Like, I have no interest to even watch it, even though it's Star Wars. And in the past, when other Star Wars properties have come out, I'm excited. I want to see it, because it hasn't been all the time. So I feel like as we go on, similar to Marvel, when you're putting out something Star Wars that is tied to the Skywalker-centric storyline, I'm probably going to be interested. The further you branch out from that, the less I'm going to care, and it's going to be the same with Marvel. The closer you stick to Thor and Black Panther for me, the more interested I'm going to be. But the more you branch off of people that used to one day work with fucking Captain America, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's kind of it's diluting the product for me a little bit. Okay. You know what I mean? On mass, I should say. Like I said, there's always going to be those sweet spots that I'm really mass or mash.
Mash. And that what you said?
On mass, like on mass. Yes. But anyway, but yes, I digress. But that's
okay. Yeah. It's I feel the way about Andor as I kind of do about Miss Marvel. I'll watch one episode, I'll give it that, but it better hold me, and Miss Marvel did not.
Yeah.
Brian, have you seen any more of that?
I have. I've been watching that. I watched another episode over the weekend. I think I've watched 2 now. I like it. It's a whole different tone and lighter feel, like we said before. So I thought it was good. So it's a whole different vibe, like I said. So I'm enjoying it so far. So I'm going to keep watching it. Ms. Marvel.
Yeah. Robin and Lane were watching it together, and I caught a couple episodes. It held my attention better than the Hawkeye one. Like I
really
saw. Yeah.
Maybe I should give the second episode a try. Huh.
So, but I mean, it's still, I haven't watched any more. Like it's not one that I'm committed to sticking to. But the Marvel one there again. Loki, very interested. Watched it, liked it a lot. WandaVision,
fantastic.
Interested. Watched it, liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As famously as you guys know, the Winter Falcon didn't care, whatever.
Sure.
Watched, I watched like 3 episodes, and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like it depends on the characters, depends on what storyline they're sticking to, and if I'm, intrigued by it personally, But maybe that's the new way. Maybe that's the thing that you cast a wide net.
Sure.
And whoever you catch, because there are people out there there's people out there that the Falcon is their favorite fucking character ever. Sure. And they're like, he's got a show. And they worked him in the movie, and it's, oh my God, or the Winter Soldier's their favorite storyline and something. And they're like, that,
yeah,
sure. That's totally, there are those people. So they're those hardcore, and I'm just not as hardcore as some of those. So that's just me as a casual fan.
At least in your Marvel fandom.
Sure.
Yeah, but
your sexual fandom is very hardcore.
Oh,
it's like a female Spider-Man sort of feel, if you will. Spider-Man was a young teenager, kind of a nerdy kid, goofy, gets these powers, has to figure out he's a balanced, normal teenage life with his powers, and that's exactly what she's doing in her own right. So if you kind of look at it in that way, it's, I don't know, it's good. But you're right. You're right.
I'll give it a shot.
Like you say, you have to cast a wide net. Like you say, you never know what's going to appeal to what. All right. Because if see anything else interesting, I tell you what I caught. I caught last night. Watched the first episode on FX, The Old Man. Series with Jeff. You know what? Super good. Hooked me in. There's like 4 or 5 episodes dropped so far. I mean, it's Jeff Bridges and his name escapes me. Shoot, I can't think of his name now. Just off the tip of my tongue. I have to look it up. But anyways, so he's basically, he's living in seclusion. You could tell he's lost his wife, and they just kind of give you little glimpses.
You can tell that he lost his wife, or they say it.
No, they walk you through that in the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
John Lithgow.
Doggone it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just,
So
just right there, those two alone, putting those together.
Two of the better actors in our generation, certainly.
Yeah.
So you put
Fucking
them on the
Harry and the
show.
Hendersons, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyways, I won't spoil anything here, but you quickly learn what's going on, and but it's a very interesting storyline, thriller. Jeff Bridges kicks ass. So definitely check it out. Give it one episode, and I would guess you would be hooked on it as well. What's that? A thriller? Oh, was Michael
I was
Jackson?
racking my brain to figure out why he was doing the thriller dance. I knew it was Thriller, but I'm like, why? Jeff
Because
Bridges.
it's a thriller.
But yeah, okay. And then I went back and
It's a thriller.
the stenographer in my head played back what he said, and I heard Thriller. I was like, oh, okay, because of Thriller. I got you.
Yep. And I finished up the boys'
Welcome back.
season as well. So terrific stuff.
Nice.
The boys on Amazon Prime. I've mentioned it a few times.
I
So
gotta get back on that.
they're really setting that up for interesting future seasons and stuff. So yeah, just again, super great season. Check it out if you haven't already. And you guys see anything else? Either one of you?
Well, I have been pleasantly happy to find. Pleasantly happy. That's redundant. Pleasantly surprised, or not surprised. I knew they were coming out with the second season. Season 2 of Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, I gotta see Hulu. That, Chad. Okay.
So I am up to date on that. I was been watching that, and that's every bit as good as the first season so far. But they're dropping episodes weekly, so you have to, you can watch them as they come out, but you got to wait for the next one. I believe, to my knowledge, I've only seen the first 3. The fourth one might be out now. I'm not sure what day exactly they come out, but that's been very good. So if you enjoyed season 1, if you haven't seen season 1, to anyone listening out there, I would strongly recommend Selena Gomez, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. Definitely go watch that. We've talked about it on past episodes, but the second season so far is very good as well. Also, I watched on it's a Paramount Plus exclusive, I believe, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Oh yeah,
okay. All right.
Yeah. So I'm going to take you through a brief history of my fandom of Beavis and Butthead. Right? Grew up watching it, probably way before I should have.
Mm-hmm.
Found it funny, didn't get a lot of jokes, whatever. The movie is a classic to me. Beavis and Butthead, right? Beavis and Butthead Do America is one of my favorite movies. As just growing up, and it's very quotable and hilarious and ridiculous. And then I don't know if you guys recall, but MTV tried to reboot it.
Yes,
I want to say around like 2010 or something like that. It's been a minute. It's been a while ago, I thought, but. They rebooted it, and it didn't quite land. And I remember watching it at the time and going, "This isn't as good as I remember. Maybe the show wasn't as good as I remember. Maybe whatever." I can honestly say, so Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, as the title suggests, there may be some time travel involved. There may be some time and space and things like that. I would put it, not say it's as good as Beavis and Butthead Do America. But definitely, it did not disappoint me. It made me laugh. It, was ridiculous. It was the things that you can expect from Beavis and Butthead, but it didn't. It landed. Everything landed. It wasn't stupid or trying too hard to make something work from yesteryear or anything like that. I really enjoyed it.
You just described this podcast.
It's not like this. It's good.
Okay,
it's really, really good. I will say, I gotta say, as far as the time travel / multiverse, whatever movies that I've seen this year, I would say I like it held my attention better than the Multiverse of Madness. So I'm just gonna go on record and say it's better than Doctor Strange 2. There you go. If you want a good time travel, time and space travel, that you don't have to sit there and dissect for 5 hours after the movie's over. Go watch Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. It's a good time, and it's the best time travel movie of 2022.
Damn.
Millennial approved.
Damn. Yeah, you don't need fucking new rock stars for Beavis and Butthead.
You're
Yeah.
not explaining shit.
Universe,
I
I'm
understand
sure.
everything about that movie. It was
Yeah.
hilarious. Yes.
Yes, if you,
No,
if you
but
need,
it's funny.
if you
It's
need
good.
this, you are a total idiot. If we have to break this movie down for you, frame by frame. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
should
good.
have said it. Idiot approved. It is idiot approved. Beavis and Butthead
Yeah.
Do the Universe. Go check it out on Paramount Plus.
I
Dean,
wanted to see it. I am a
Yeah.
fringe Beavis and Butthead fan. That was obviously
I was a
my
huge fan.
full blown of my generation too.
Yep.
So I think the reboot didn't work as much because it wasn't our it wasn't our generation, Dean, maybe definitely mine. I was sitting around
Oh, it's
watching
definitely
MTV.
1000%.
And that's what made it funnier, I think, at the time, was we were sitting around watching those dumb videos, and they made fun of the videos that we were watching. So I think it was definitely. But
They
now,
just got
when they try to
done
reboot
showing
it,
those
no one's
videos.
doing that. No one's doing it anymore. At least I don't think so. Not like they were in our time, anyway. But
Right.
Yeah.
sorry, go
There
ahead.
was
Dean,
only
what were you gonna say?
there was only so many channels, so you had MTV was the place to be on TV for our generation, our age.
Yeah.
So now there's a million stations. So if you're flipping through and you see those crude drawings, you don't stop to go, "Ooh, what is this?"
Yeah.
Right.
I think it might miss with the previous generation or the next generation.
But I don't know.
Compared to
Adult
Duck.
Swim's so popular, and look at the. You said that. I mean,
Maybe
it's,
that's where they should have put it.
yeah,
know what I mean?
maybe. Yeah.
Do
Mhm.
20-minute segs and just put it on Adult Swim. Maybe it'll done. Maybe it would have worked.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, Paramount Plus is trying to reboot some of these old. I think. What else are they redoing? I know they did. They did South Park exclusives as well. They've done
Yeah.
some of those, which are I think you can also get on HBO Max, where they're what all the South Park stuff is.
Mhm.
But I thought there was something else too. Didn't they do isn't Futurama coming back as well? Is that?
I think so.
It could be. Yeah.
I think they ordered some of those or something, but they're trying to get some re-interest in some of the old classics.
And if you want to
older
know
classics.
more about our thoughts on reboots, stay tuned to after the break.
That's right. That's right.
That's called a tease. No, I saw.
So are you.
That's right. I saw a little quaint little TV show. It was about it was like a little family. It's the premise of I guess it starts with they're driving down the road, and a deer comes out and pops out in front of them. They swerve and miss it, hit it
Mhm.
not like a tree, but like a stop sign, right? And they pull over the side of the road, and they pick up the phone, and who do they call? They call Aaron Blake with Blake Insurance. That's who they call.
Man, what a great plot.
And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you for this family, because Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, business, and fucked that up, didn't I?
A little bit.
They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, make sure you tell them these idiots sent them. And Aaron does not need a reboot. You cannot mess with an original.
That's right.
That's right. All right, so that's a good time to take a break here, guys. I think we'll come back with a few pop culture headlines, and then, like you said, Dean, we'll do some movie reboots. It's our main segment this evening, so stay with us.
All of that and more after a word from our sponsors.
That's right.
And we're back for our next segment of Convincing Idiots. Not only am I back this week, but I'm back for a second segment, okay? After some very, very tumultuous contract negotiations, I've been convinced to come back for yet another segment.
Mhm.
So we are back here. I am Millennial Nick, along with my friends Zennial Dean and Gen X Brian.
I hear
so-
he doesn't have to eat the onions. That's his new contract.
Oh, Nick,
it's
how do
a
you
bunch of
finagle that?
bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I am going to... One of the things that I have missed dearly since I've been off, I feel like I've been really out of the loop, not only with you guys, but I feel like in the world, like my main source of news and my personal newspaper is one Brian Fisher. I don't know
Fishernet
what's been
stocking.
going on. So Brian, I would like, my Fishernet stockings boy. I would like to know what's been going on in the world of pop culture. Do you have anything that you can tell us, Brian, to keep us in the here and now?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that caught my eyes. I hate to talk about more losses out there in the world of pop culture, but there were a couple that fairly significant I want to mention here quickly. So this past Sunday, now you don't know his name probably, Monty Norman passed away, age 94. Yep. He was a composer, and he composed one of the most iconic movie themes of all
Super
time,
Mario
arguably.
Nope.
Jump from a tall
That's John
building,
Williams.
hanging from a vine. No?
No, not that one.
Terminator guy.
I was hoping
Not
you just
that
went
guy.
on forever with that.
Do the rest of the episode quietly in the background. No, but he composed the James Bond theme from all the way back in 1962. It was like
I'm James Bond, and I'm in a fast car, and I can drink whiskey and no, not whiskey.
Whiskeys and bitches
Martini.
and guns and suits. Whiskeys and bitches and guns and suits.
I like it. That's maybe you can make the new millennial James Bond theme.
Avocado toast and phones and computers.
Look at my mustache, I'm rolling in a craft beer.
Frappuccinos and IPAs.
No, but if you're a not even a huge James Bond, if you hear the theme, you probably know what movie that's from, right? So just like I said, of all the iconic movie themes, definitely one of the most, in my opinion. So rest in peace, Monty Norman. And
Monty,
we talked about
hardly
this.
even knew you.
That's right. We talked about this off camera a little bit. The three of us were not really anime fans per se. If we had some of the, Mr. Lane, your son Nick may definitely get. I'm sure he'll be angry if we talked about this, and here we did. But the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, Takahashi Kazuki, this past Wednesday died of what seemed to be an unfortunate accident. He was 60 years old. It appeared that he was by himself off the shores of Japan snorkeling, and something happened. They found him dead, literally dead in the water. So Yu-Gi-Oh became a very popular animated series. They made a movie out of it. So again, not a fan personally. I know you guys not necessarily either, but it was definitely a huge success.
I got
for him.
some of the report there.
Hey, does Blake Insurance Agency offer Godzilla insurance?
No, not life insurance, actually, because that's why I messed up the read earlier.
Well, not life insurance, Godzilla attack insurance.
They might.
Because we don't know that's
you
not
might
what
want
happened
to call
here.
him.
You said it was
You
off
don't
the
know.
shores of Japan.
That's true.
That's right. Don't know what happened. He had snorkeling gear on,
Right.
but doesn't necessarily mean he died from that. You
But
never
it
know.
says here,
You never know.
it says here that his power up was fire. Unfortunately, water could hurt him. So
Shit.
that stinks.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so rest in peace, Mr. Kazuki. And then also,
Just to reiterate, we're not making fun of people dying. We like to make light of a bad situation.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
Obviously it is a sad thing, but
Yeah, one of the more iconic actors of our time, James Caan, passed away, 82 years of age, on the evening of July the 6th, so last week. Obviously known for some huge roles in The Godfather, Misery, and a lot of people know him. Younger people certainly, they probably have no idea he was in The Godfather, but they would know that he is the dad in Elf, the Christmas movie with Will.
Oh,
Will
okay.
Ferrell.
That's James Caan. Okay.
That's James Caan, absolutely.
You guys sent the text message, and I'm like, definitely know the name.
Yep.
But didn't, you know what I mean? So, yeah, okay, now I know.
Are you serious?
So you've not seen Misery?
Yeah.
You've never seen Misery?
Bits and pieces, but no, not all the way
This
through.
dude was from...
That's the one with Kathy Bates, right? Kathy Bates, Misery, yeah.
Kathy Bates won an Oscar for that movie. It is arguably the best Stephen King adaptation. It's definitely one of the very, very best.
Yes.
Okay, and it's not like it's gore or nothing. It puts you in that room with James Caan, and you feel it really is. So both of their performances, virtually the whole movie is those two. There's different scenes of some other characters, but virtually it's those two.
It's like a 2-act play or a 2-person play.
It really is.
Gotcha.
Go watch that movie at some point if you want to have a super terrific suspense.
Even
movie.
as a writer kept up in bed like he was in Misery, he was still a badass. You know what I mean? James Caan. I mean, look at some of the people. I mean, he was alongside Marlon Brando in The Godfather, John Wayne in El Dorado.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All the way to Bob Newhart in Elf. I mean, this guy has done the wide range that he was able to do, and it's kind of like you could probably do 7 Degrees of James Caan, same as you do 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I mean, with the so many different roles and so many different people, the entourage casts that he did. I mean, the dude was just fantastic.
Yeah. So, he is now in my Christmas holiday road every year. I watch Elf every single year, and every year I love him in that role. I didn't really care for Elf at first, but he definitely took that movie to an entirely different level with his performance. Right? So much I even have to do the hand motion like that. I have to take it to another level, whatever that means. But so rest in peace, Mr. Caan. And it's making the news now here, guys. So Twitter is suing Elon Musk. So first of all, as you might know, Elon Musk did a hostile takeover, made a hostile takeover bid of Twitter for like $50-some billion. I want to say at least 40-something billion dollars at least, and which it was like $50-some a share, which was an aggressive price per share. And he wanted to, change some of the practices and the rules and all these things. And now he wishes to back out of the deal. At least that's what he's saying. Could be a negotiation ploy. He wants to back out of the deal. And so Twitter is now suing him to keep the offer because their stock prices are down in part because their advertising is down. So my understanding is I listened to a podcast today on this, the New York Times Daily podcast. So my understanding at a high level is not as many advertisers want to advertise on Twitter for many reasons, in part because there's a lot of bad news out there, and they're not necessarily interested that you have tweets about like the war in Ukraine and January 6th and all this bad news, basically. And then their ad is popping in there, so it's not as appealing, right? So, and then Elon Musk's take is, well, I never liked from the beginning that you have a lot of bot accounts. So I want to get in here and wipe out all these bot accounts because it is inflating the subscribers, not the subscribers, but the users, if you will. It's inflating numbers of not live people. So if I want to try to sell advertising on this platform, your numbers are off because there's too many bot accounts that you're counting in your total numbers that have
as
nothing
users,
to do as users, right, and they're not going to buy any product obviously because they're bot accounts. So again, it could be a negotiation ploy. He may wind up having to pay a penalty and walk away. He may certainly renegotiate a lower price. or he may wind up being forced to buy it. But they're saying that would be probably a very difficult task because he's Elon Musk, and he's already a smart man. He could probably afford the greatest of the greatest of legal team that there is in existence, probably, if he felt like it. So
I read a meme that was kind of made a point. The reason he backs out is because they wouldn't share the info on how many or whatever bots, right?
Right. He wants to know what he's getting into.
So
right.
If Twitter sues him, they go to court. They're going to have to do what?
They have to tell you. They have to tell what the numbers
exactly
are.
what he was trying to find out before he.
And they don't want to do that.
So sweet irony.
Yeah. So we'll see. So do you guys even care about this? Do you care if he buys it or doesn't buy it? And do you think if he does buy it, is he still going to change stuff around? Do you have any thoughts on this? Do you really care whatsoever?
I have slight concerns. I mean, honestly, for me, and I think a lot of social media platforms, it is. I mean, there are bots and there are fake users and hackers and things on all these platforms, but a lot of these things are, especially with Twitter, it's a choose your own adventure. It's who you follow, right? So mine is basically sports news and updates because the people that I follow all have to do with hockey and basketball, and it's basically different sports personalities and things like that. Some others, obviously, but the majority of it is, when some news breaks and I want to see if it's legit, I go to Twitter to see sports related, if it's, if anybody's tweeted about it or whatever.
Right.
So I definitely have concerns about different people that, and that's all based on your bias. I know that he wants to have more freedom of speech on Twitter. That was his whole platform when he bought it, that he wanted to, and I'm like, well, when I hear that, it hits my ears as going, well, who have they censored on Twitter? Donald Trump. Well, who's dangerously insane? Donald Trump. So when I hear that stuff, I think I'm concerned that,
he's going to turn it back into the Wild West.
It's all your bias, right? It's all I'm obviously, if you couldn't guess by ever listening to us before, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with political parties. I just think he's insane and a petulant child, and I don't really like him. But so the person that everyone knows that has been silenced by Twitter, when people say we need to take barriers off people, we need more freedom of speech, I'm thinking that's where my brain's going, right? So, and I don't necessarily care to hear people like that give it a platform.
Yeah.
Because it spreads craziness, as we've seen. So I don't really know. I mean, I definitely am all for people having their opinions, and I think if you can have a civil exchange of opinions and information, that is, I mean, we're in a weird time where it's like someone needs to monitor what information is getting out because people are so susceptible to distruths, but at the same time, now you get into, well, who determines what is the truth and what is not? It's a lot. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
But the truth is the truth.
I'm a little sure.
I hate
sure,
that
but
term
everybody. I guess
of who determines
we're in a time.
Facts are truth.
Right. But we're in a time where people can meet you with this and that and go, well, that's my thing,
truth.
And what you say is true.
I have a big dick. Doesn't mean it's actually true, but it's my truth.
Well, where did you get that information?
Brian told me.
What source? Right, but
he's the stat
but
man.
I don't listen to
Yes,
Brian Dick News. I listen to Nick Dick News, and Nick Dick News says it's tiny, minuscule.
Well, I don't know if we needed to go that far with this.
Well, a micro penis, in fact. Who are you listening to?
This is
Megan subscribes to that channel as well, I think.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
She gets her news from the Nick News as
and
well.
she just sits there and just shakes her head yes violently.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are concerns because anytime, I mean, any of these things, right? You're swimming at your own risk. Whoever makes the decisions at these platforms, whether they do it out of their own personal bias or out of political or societal pressures, they're making decisions on what is and is not proper. So with Elon Musk, I don't know. I don't know what his goal is. I don't know if it's a ploy to gain more to acquire
I thought he was just bored.
things or power, or if he's going to run for president, or if it's a ploy for that. I don't know. I don't know. It's ultimately, what can we do? Nothing. We're either going to be on Twitter or we're not, and whoever owns it's going to own it, and that is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. It's all very weird to me.
Yeah, it seemed to shift. It's certainly when you hear stuff like this, it definitely seemed to shift from I am trying to just I don't really care about the money per se in so much as I want to create this platform for people for free speech. And all of a sudden it's like someone's like, hey Elon, this is not looking like it's going to make as much money here with all these buttons. He's like, yeah, maybe I kind of overbid for something that may not make me
He woke up
a profit or much money.
He woke up next to the ugly chick.
Maybe
drunk one night, goes home to the bar. Like, oh, fuck. He has that ugly chick regret.
Yeah. Now I heard something.
Nick.
You've been stuck with me ever since.
Mm-hmm. I ain't mad at it.
Now, I heard something a few years ago that Twitter is not really very profitable. As far as
think
capital brought in, that Twitter. Now I don't know how that works. I don't know how something can be as colossal as Twitter is, and everybody's on it, and everybody uses
throughout its stock because it's public.
Maybe that must be it, because it's something
down.
about.
No, I'm saying in general.
Maybe
he was talking about in general.
Yeah.
I
just heard in Pat. I can't remember what podcast. I was on a podcast, and it was a news podcast, but they were saying that Twitter basically doesn't make any profit, hasn't made a profit, and at this time it was like 9 years running or whatever since its existence. It hadn't ever turned a profit in a fiscal year, and I don't know if that has
think about
to do
the model.
Right.
For the most part, you can log in there for free.
Yep.
And you can just start using it. So you're going to make the only way you're going to make money is from advertisements.
Correct.
Sure.
Right. And then you also have now the Twitter Blue or something like that, where basically you can get you pay. And I think part of the reason you pay is to avoid the, ads in your feed, and you can. I don't know the features to it,
Patreon.
but that's. I mean, sort of. You think about it. It's like that's how all these platforms make money. It's just you get enough viewers,
and
then you can get you run ads, and that's just kind of about where it is.
Well,
So
I mean, to me, let me tell you, I don't trust trees. They seem shady.
All right. Was that your calendar dad joke of the day?
That was
no, actually, that my point. I am I'm on Twitter, and I'm in part of a private message room. Right, there's like 20 of us, 26 of us, all throughout the country.
You are part of the Twitter Illuminati.
Yes.
It's like the Twitter people.
But it's just a bunch of ass clowns from around the country, or actually around the world, that. We just throughout the day you just talk and chat and tell jokes and stuff, and that was from Kat at OLKORRECTO. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that was her tweet, right? And that was my point. Is that's what I use Twitter for, is jokes. I mean, I like to look at boobs when they're there,
and you haven't gotten any better at them.
Well,
damn.
Or reasonable facsimile.
First of all, Kat wrote a fantastic tweet. I thought that was very funny because I'm a fan of dad jokes. But no, my point is I don't go there for political news. I mean, yes, like Nick said, if something big happens, I'll go over to Twitter and not even go in the general section. I'll go into the news section to see what's real, what's happening and stuff. I think that a lot of people do that. There's a small section of people that really buy in, that like Nick said, where Trump got in trouble. But I think that's a very small part of that community. I think the majority of people are on there for specific things. Some are on there for fetishes, sexual fetishes. Some are on there for, a lot of people are on there for just jokes. Some are people on there for sports, like Nick said. Brian, what are you on there for?
Promoting this podcast.
That's
true.
honestly, that's almost about it. I don't go looking for stuff on Twitter, to be honest with you, because it's such a rabbit hole. Any of those, TikTok, Twitter, it's so
wanting to know.
It's so easy to get sucked into all kinds of different content. Like I did get pulled into some of the comments on Thor: Love and Thunder, because it is interesting.
Okay.
That type of stuff is kind of interesting when there's a hot topic out there, and you definitely get different types of perspectives, But I don't
Nick,
necessarily
that's where you get your that's where you get your child medium T-shirts, right?
That's right. That's
Hot
correct.
topic.
Yes.
Okay.
There are a couple I like. I mentioned before, like Super 70s Sports. I mean, that guy's got it's just constant retro pictures and jokes and stuff like that. That type of stuff I find funny.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm just not on there a whole bunch.
Yeah, like I don't get the people that are on there for like strong political views and
yeah. Like, who gives a fuck about your opinion?
Right.
It's like, who I mean, maybe sometimes you catch one that, I guess maybe that's part of the whole appeal to it.
Let's say appeal to social media in general.
Yeah. Well, I said that's
Yeah,
the
I guess so.
entire reason
I
I
guess
don't
so.
really get on Facebook anymore. It's been probably, I don't even know how long, but I rarely put anything on Facebook or even look at Facebook because that's all it is. Every time I'm on it, it's everybody all the time.
But also, gentlemen, you also got to realize that that's what we're doing here. Like, who the fuck gives a shit about our opinions of pop culture nerdom? You know what I mean? It's for entertainment. To each his own, like everybody says.
Right. And that's evident in our ratings, I would say, probably.
But yeah, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, everybody has their reasoning for being on it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Elon Musk is one of those people that probably gets bored and just trolls people, and it got out of hand. And he's like, you know what? I got like all the money, so I'm gonna buy it. And then that kind of rolled downhill and caught steam, and he's like, well, I kind of gotta keep going with this. Roll downhill, and you're like, oh fuck, I actually have to do it. No, I was joking. I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, I think it just got out of hand. I don't think he actually had an intention of buying it for whatever reason he originally said. I think it was a bored troll that got out of hand.
Very possible. Well, we'll see what happens.
Nick.
Yep.
But not
all right. Well, before we take a break and go to our main topic here, now, Dean, you want to mention real quick? Now, you've made a new connection. Another podcast picked up our feed. You want to mention them at all? Or?
Yeah.
He either doesn't or he forgot the name.
I forgot the name. It's on the phone, and my phone is recording. So
it's the Crushed Monocle or something.
Yes,
Crushed Monocle.
Crushed Monocle podcast.
Crushed Monocle podcast.
Actually, I listened to their stuff today, and the two guys are funny. They're good. So give them a listen. I think they're on their 12th episode, and I think they have
Chicago, Illinois. Is that what I saw?
I believe so. And I think one of the episodes they have like one of the guys from Velvet Revolver in an interview. So yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, for being 12 episodes, I mean, good on them.
That's a good start. Oh yeah, well, Aaron Blake Insurance Agency sponsors our show, so
we win.
It's like whatever. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
He plays the guitar too.
That's right. We got Blake Insurance, and we also have guys. An up-and-coming business in the Barberton area, the Bell Mark Amazon store. Go check out their products. Quality, handcrafted wood products on the Amazon store. Go check them out. So they specialize in countertop compost bins, 2 different sizes, floating nightstands, Dean. You could hang by your bed.
I sure can.
And you got a lot of extra shelf space there in your room. If maybe you have a smaller bedroom as well, you need some. You don't want to have a whole nightstand there, but you want to have some space there for your phone and whatnot.
Your tissues and your lotions.
Sometimes,
absolutely.
sometimes those legs
Absolutely.
get in the way of my naughty boy box that I got to hide under there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And a wall mounted liquor cabinet, which I have one in my dining room, looks terrific. So it holds like 4 bottles and glasses and looks terrific. And it flips down. You have a nice shelf space there to actually mix drinks on. So go check out the Bell Mark Amazon
And Mark
store.
Koontz, he looks terrific as well.
Sure does. That's right. Bell Mark, BELLEMARK, Amazon store. And we thank them for their sponsorship as well.
I missed him at the beer tasting party this year. He's usually there. He was not there this year.
They were celebrating their anniversary, Bellmark was. So
Oh, okay.
they were
Well, that's
were on
I guess
assignment.
I guess it's we'll honor it. It's a legitimate excuse, I
Fine.
suppose.
Poor excuse.
he owes you a beer
Yeah.
for it. I think
I
that's
would say so.
Part of the sponsorship is
He
that-
owes it. Fuck that. He owes me a floating liquor cabinet
that's right. That's
for
great.
standing me up at the
That's
beer
right.
tasting party.
you wept for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Part of their sponsorship and the contract with us is they do not have to actually. They don't have to. They no longer have to pretend that they're actually
Right.
friends with.
That was it. That was in the
Anybody
contract.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. It was a long workup, many years of effort.
Lawyers
It works up to
involved.
so-
I hereby state I am no longer
That's
legally obligated to pretend
That's right. Takes the
to
pressure
be
off.
friends with them. Yeah.
Takes the pressure off. That's right. All right. All right. So guys, we're gonna take another break.
Good. I'm empty
I want to come back and talk about
inside.
movie reboots, movie remakes, good ones, bad ones, some that maybe you want to see, maybe some that you think they should never touch and never consider trying to reboot or remake.
Like the
So-
time you tried to reboot this podcast without me.
That's right. That's right.
Don't even fucking try.
That's right.
Pointless.
It was me, Dean, and the gold head, the golden Dean head. Yep, wasn't as entertaining.
Or as good
Yeah.
a kisser. We tried.
No, it wasn't. Or other
Yeah.
things that we won't talk
Yeah.
about live. We'll
Mhm.
talk about more off camera. So,
You never have to wish that this mouth was open.
It's like that sign behind Brian. It's like it's just a neon one on his forehead.
Yeah.
On
Mhm.
air, open for business.
that's
Make sure to come back for segment 3.
Be right back.
Who lives in the third dimension? You know who is in control. You know who has 4 times the action. You know who feels the freedom. You know who breaks the barriers. You know who stands out from the crowd. You know who everybody's after. You know who. The games of Nintendo 64.
And welcome back to Convincing Idiots. We are whole again with the 3 of us here. That's
I have
right.
filled the hole. I have filled both of your holes by being here.
That's right. That's
And
right.
we thank you.
Yep.
The
So-
pleasure is mine.
Oh, you have no idea. It is ours.
All right.
Go ahead, Brian. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Cut the
this is-
sexual tension with a knife.
That's right. This is what we missed over the last couple weeks here, folks.
Yep.
No, but so we mentioned already. So Dean and I did a live episode last Wednesday, and we got into organic conversation around TV reboots. I mentioned like the Munsters movie that's coming out with Rob Zombie's Munsters, and it's kind of got us into talking about TV shows that were rebooted over the years, and some that were good, some that were not so good, some that they shouldn't even try to attempt. And so they got us talking about movies as well. So that's what we're going to talk about here in our main segment is movies that they've rebooted. So it could be a franchise that was maybe dormant for a while that they rebooted into some other storyline or something like that, or it could be a movie that's a complete remake of something from the past, or it could be just some that were good, some that were not so good, and some if you have any suggestions of you would like to see a reboot if it comes up in the conversation here. Or maybe some movies that, and it could be a lot of these, but just some of your favorite movies that, if they attempted to try to reboot it, it would just not, just don't even try because it's not going to go well. The original is too good,
I can tell you right now, one right off the top that I'm sure everybody is thinking about right now.
Yeah, like they should do Jingle All the Way with John Hamm. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
I love this idea.
Maybe
I would have initially said if you wanted to reboot Jingle All the Way, I'd say fuck right off. But if you put John Hamm in the role, I might listen to that pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. We could just
Jamie Foxx and John Hamm. Maybe.
Or Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart
role.
That's it.
Kevin Hart and John Hamm.
Let's face it, guys. We just end this episode by saying, no matter what, you can reboot anything as long as John Hamm is involved.
Correct. It would be fine. It would almost be better.
But I will tell you,
reboot Wonder Woman, John Hamm.
I will tell you one thing that has been rebooted that didn't even need John Hamm because it was so good.
Go ahead.
The reboot of the way that you conventionally think about riding a bicycle. Our friends at RPM Bike Shop rebooted the way that you ride a bike by adding the power of electricity. Electric bikes to your daily commute or for your leisure, wherever you may be going. Our friends at RPM Bike Shop are located conveniently in Carrollton, Ohio. You can find them by searching them up on Facebook, going to their website, rpmbikeshop.com, or giving them a call directly at 330-808-7792 today. Because RPM Bike Shops, although they are a bit of a reboot on your traditional bicycling needs, they themselves do not require a reboot, for they are perfect already the way that they are. RPM Bike Shops, a revolution in biking. Give them a call today and tell them the Convincing Idiots told you where to go.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys,
I think you just found their fucking tagline for their business. So.
The revolution. Yeah.
A revolution in biking. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. So do you have any movie how about some that were just wherever it goes? How about some of your least favorites? Some that they redid. It's like they did not have a. I don't know. It just didn't go well for you. It didn't resonate with you.
I can't really say that this didn't resonate. Because there have occasionally been some fine. But to me, if you would have ended it with Michael Keaton's Batman and stopped it there, I'd be just fine. No Val Kilmer, no George Clooney, no, pardon me, Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson, I enjoyed the movie, but if you'd have ended it Michael Keaton, I'd have been fine with that.
Wow. I mean, I don't want to disrespect the Michael Keaton movies because it's not what it is, but some of my favorite ones have been post that. So, but I mean, you're not wrong in the fact that if you never had it, you wouldn't know, because you would have been. Sure, if you would have made the two Batman movies, you would have been happy with that because they were very good, and you wouldn't know what you were missing, I guess. But yeah.
That trilogy was too good, so that's actually one of my more favorite ones. Of
the Christian Bale ones, Begins.
Batman Begins, 2005 was a great way to relaunch that franchise.
You're looking at that through the lens of who is Batman.
No, I'm looking at through the lens of good movies.
You didn't think The Dark Knight was a good movie?
Okay. The Dark Knight was a good movie. Christian Bale was not good in this good
That's
movie.
what I'm saying. You're thinking of who is Batman in these movies.
Okay, then you are correct. And Christian Bale was
Because that
dog
way,
shit.
Brian is not wrong. And there again, I didn't
Okay.
mind Christian Bale.
Okay.
We've already done a Batman episode, but
We have.
you
Go
know,
back in the archives.
I don't like. I think if you change the way he does the Batman voice, you're looking at those with a different.
No, I didn't like him as Bruce Wayne. I didn't like
Really?
him as I didn't like him in his action sequences. There's nothing about Christian Bale as Batman that I enjoyed.
All right,
Okay.
so we disagree. I guess I go back and watch the Batman episode. What's another good or
I'll
bad
go back, but I'll just throw things at the TV again.
one? That's fine.
Not my
Nick,
fucking
do-
TV. I don't give a shit what you.
I eat
Nick,
a
do-
lot of bananas, so I throw banana peels.
Nick, do you have a
Um,
good or bad one? Just whatever one you want to talk about.
I'm going
Is
to start
it
with
good
what you
or
said bad. So, and I'm not even going to say it's bad because the remake of it, from what I remember, wasn't necessarily bad. But I felt that the original is one that stands up so well it never, ever, 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 ever needs fucked with. Psycho, the original, is one of my favorite
Yes,
movies of all
yes.
time. And actually, every time I watch it, I just sit there and I think to myself, how
Vince Vaughn?
Yes. Well, I think
Yeah.
of the original, how masterful it is, and how long
Mhm.
ago it was made, and how
Yes,
little would
yes.
ever need it. You just don't need to.
It's a perfect
The
horror
one
movie.
with Vince Vaughn is
right.
not bad, but it's unnecessary.
Correct.
There was
same
absolutely no
same as
reason
a
for it.
TV show.
Yeah.
It was okay,
Sure,
but it was
and I like
unnecessary.
that one. I didn't mind so much because it was a backstory before all of that happened.
Did you watch
It was-
the final episode?
Yes, yeah. But
So
I'm saying the series
it's a
as a,
multiverse situation going on there.
yeah. The series as a whole, I really enjoyed.
I did too.
Because it didn't dip
Unnecessary
in
compared
too
to
much.
the movie.
Well, already, I mean, fuck. if you're-
Remakes, reboots. We're not talking about prequels. We're not talking
Yeah.
about sequels.
Yeah.
Remakes, reboots.
Remakes, reboots, yeah. But that Psycho with Vince Vaughn, from what I recall of it, not a bad movie, just unnecessary.
Right.
And I would say the same. I didn't even realize this as I was looking up popular remakes or whatever. Another classic movie that is old as shit that I absolutely adore, and it's long as fuck. But apparently in 2016, I believe they remade Ben-Hur. Not
I did not
necessary.
know that.
Not necessary. I haven't
I didn't
even
know that
seen it.
either.
I didn't know it existed. It might be very good, but there's not even a reason to do that because the original Ben-Hur is so damn good. Why would you need to do that? That's my opinion. For some
did
people,
not even know
I was
that.
going to say there's a slight. I mean, a lot of people don't like Ben-Hur because it is so long, but there again, like just don't.
That's
There's no
because
reason.
their attention spans is as big as their dick.
Yeah.
Very, very possible.
Fuck 'em.
Mm-hmm. But
Dean, do you have a one that's a remake that you did not care for?
I went through a few different routes here. I don't have anything listed from like stuff that's already been made.
Okay.
I have some ideas.
Okay.
And some non-ideas, kind of like what we did with the TV show situation.
Sure.
Before I go in that, Brian, do you have any? Because I don't have any. I'm going the separate route. Do you have any?
That's okay. I have a few.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's hear it.
I asked. Now, the first one here is from my lovely daughter Peyton. Her suggestion, and we watched this movie when she was a kid. And as soon as she said it tonight, I'm like, yes, 100%. 2010, The Karate Kid. Jaden Smith.
Agreed.
1,000% unnecessary.
Nope.
You could have done a similar storyline. Didn't have to be called The Karate Kid.
You could have called it the Judo Boy.
I don't know. Jackie Chan was fine as the
Judy boy.
the Mr. Miyagi type
Judy boy.
character. Just unnecessary, and the original was too. Even the original's not a fantastic movie. It's good. I mean, you don't have to touch that
How
franchise.
dare you? How dare
You
you?
know, I don't know. I also have 2010 also the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Jackie Earl Haley as Freddy Krueger.
Agreed.
Don't you could redo. It's easy to redo. Reboot Jason and Michael Myers. As a matter of fact,
Because he
the
doesn't have the
right,
the eye,
and the
you know what I mean?
personality.
right.
That Robert Englund was and is Freddy Krueger. To
Right.
try to replace him is ridiculous. The storyline is not actually terrible. They try to get a little bit deeper into the origin and stuff like that. It just, you're just looking for, at least for me, I was looking for Robert Englund the entire movie. He's not in the movie. And it sounded to me like, and Jackie Earle Haley was fantastic as Rorschach in the Watchmen movie, which is a terrific movie, and we'll go into that. It's another great superhero movie based on the graphic novel. It was the same voice. It was Rorschach as Freddy Krueger. It just didn't make any sense for me. The 1998 Godzilla
With
Agreed.
with
Matthew Broderick.
yes,
Matthew
thank you.
Broderick.
If you go ahead
Female
and
Godzilla, it's just like laying the eggs and all. It's just like, what in the
if you
fuck
look
is
at
going on?
if you look at the structure and everything of Godzilla, and then you go on a lot of like these fan sites, people don't consider this to be an actual Godzilla movie. They call it Zilla. They shorten it as that
Right.
monster is just Zilla, not Godzilla.
I would just like to point out how terrible that movie had to be to reboot the Godzilla franchise as it was, and people being like, "This sucks," because up to that point,
Right.
all you
Exactly.
had was that early ass Mickey
Man in a
Mouse
rubber
bullshit.
suit.
No,
And
you
like,
had,
people are like,
you had
nah, like, this
Godzilla
sucks.
85 or 88. You had some
Yeah, they
remakes
did
in
have
the
some
80s.
newer stuff that,
That's a good
that
one.
looked a little newer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good
Uh,
one. I forgot about that one.
I've got the Steve Martin Pink Panther in 2006.
Yeah.
Again, you cannot.
He looked nothing like the cartoon.
And Peter Sellers was so good in the Inspector Clouseau role. It was one of his most iconic roles of his career. So funny, one of the greatest, and we talked about this on again. Some of the greatest physical comedy on film is Peter Sellers in the Pink Panther movies, and Steve Martin was fine. He's a good comedic actor, but don't try to reboot the Pink Panther franchise. They made 2 movies, and that was it. It just didn't work. I was too big of a fan of the original, probably as
They
well.
made 2? Is that what you said?
I think they
Mhm.
did. I think they made
They
2
did.
Pink Panther movies.
They sure did.
The first one made enough
Damn.
money to it's just not the same. Not the same feel. Not the same vibe. And I put on here the 2016 Ghostbusters. Now the all-female cast of Ghostbusters. They
Agreed.
try to reboot. Again, it's just nothing to do with
Well-
all-female. It's just you don't. It's just
If you would have put that and called it something else, like it hits, all the jokes hit, the premise hits,
right.
but I think the argument is that it's not the same. You know, it's not the original, and it's not even the knock of people going, you don't mess with the original, and no, it's not that. I think it's the idea that you don't have. I mean, yes, you actually had a lot of the cast, but they were doing cameos. If you would have
Right.
put that in the same universe
right.
and said they were like a
Like made it
Another
Ghostbusters
branch.
Afterlife, but
Or
like
another
that
branch or
they're
something.
taking over
Yes.
for like
we're the
part
San
of the same-
Francisco
Yeah.
branch.
yeah.
That's fine.
But-
Don't
but
call
to
them
try to, like-
Egon and all that. Don't
Right.
do that.
You
you said,
you want to
make your
they tried
own
to,
universe.
They tried to just pretend that one didn't happen. And everybody goes, bullshit, it didn't happen. They saved fucking New York.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
I think
don't-
that's what hurt it.
You can't exactly. You cannot replace.
It
cannot
was a funny
replace the
movie. All those girls are fucking fantastic.
Great comedic actresses. Not their fault. It's just the premise.
Premise was bad.
Trying to, like I say, trying to eliminate the original. And one more for you. 2015, The Fantastic Four. I still, to this day, based on the reviews and everybody I've known that's seen it, hates it so much. It's got one of the lowest Rotten Tomato ratings, probably of any. I shouldn't say of any, but
That was the one
certainly
with,
of any superhero
I
movie.
was just gonna
Yes.
say Michael B. Jordan, right? I never
They-
saw it.
They
Yeah.
changed the
Me either.
storyline. It's again Sony messing around, trying to do something with the Marvel characters they have no business in doing. It just didn't make any sense. The premise, that's it. Get rid of it, and let's do it correctly with the Marvel Universe, which I know it's in development. It's going to the next one's going to be terrific. I'm
along
sure.
those lines, does the Amazing Spider-Man count as a reboot of Spider-Man?
Sure, it does. It's because it's
So
it's
that-
picked
That might be on my list, and that's not
terrible.
They're like you said, it's not a discredit to the actors or anything like that.
Andrew
They
Garfield's
weren't
terrific.
super well written. Like, yeah, Andrew Garfield was one of probably my favorite
You're
part of the
telling
newest
me
Spider-Man.
The one with Tobey Maguire was what were
Well, those were. I mean,
Yes,
before
first two.
the
no
before the
bullshit.
before the
Yes.
Peter Holland ones,
No.
those were the benchmark for. Well, actually, I would say before the Dark Knight, that was kind of the benchmark for
Yes.
superhero movies at that
I
time.
just
They were
watched
the
that.
best.
I
They
just
were hands
recently
down the
watched the first one. And you guys, knowing that I just watched it, you guys still
Mhm.
want to tell me that it was
Yeah.
well written.
I mean, I haven't seen, but yeah, I love
Dialogue.
like Brian said, the first two movies, especially the second one with Doctor Octopus, fantastic. One of the very, very high up there on the superhero.
If you grew
movies
up
list.
if you grew up reading the Spider-Man
No,
comics,
I
you would
get- I
think they're
get what
better
you're-
movies.
I get what you're saying, but the written dialogue throughout the movie is dog shit. The characters are unbelievable. The premises, it's a horrible movie, and I will even pause my thought of the special effects because it was done back in
2001 or some shit.
Right.
Like the first one came out in like 01 or
I
something.
will give them leeway on that because I just watch it so frequently. I will give them. You good there, bud? You pouring a drink there?
I am.
You filling it up to the top there? The tasty beverage.
I was.
What are
I
you drinking?
was.
Since we heard it, what are you drinking tonight?
That is a basic Labatt Blue Light.
Blue
for
Light.
you,
In,
right there.
in
Yes,
honor
indeed.
of the returning hero.
That's right.
There you go.
That's
There
right.
we go. Very
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
Okay, so I've trashed that movie every time I can because I don't like it.
Well,
anyways, so
yep.
That's
That's right.
another one we'll
We-
have to agree to
we
disagree
agree,
because
disagree
I
on that.
There
stand
we
by
go.
Spider-Man 1 and 2 by
because
Tobey
you
Maguire.
two
Very good.
Yes, me too.
much the same.
We agree on Batman and Spider-Man. There you go.
All right, so we'll talk about some good ones in a minute there. So Dean, you had some pitches for some that you would like to see.
All right. First of all, I'm going to go with one right off the bat. I don't know how much time we have, but
About 15 minutes or so.
okay. Would yes or no? I'm going to run some of these off to you guys. You say yes, no. Give me your reasoning.
Okay.
I'll start with the big one. Back to the Future.
No.
Nick?
1,000% no.
Don't care. Have no anything with it.
That would
Brian?
be movie blasphemy.
Never seen them.
Cannot
Okay.
possibly reboot Back to the Future. It's too perfect.
Okay.
All the performances, the writing, it
Right.
was a lightning in a bottle.
It's timeless.
Do not fuck with those movies ever. Matter of fact, I saw a thing today that the original director owns the
I read that
rights.
too. That's what made me think of it.
Right, he owns the rights to
Yeah.
make reboots or not, and he
And
said
he will make sure-
block he'll block every attempt as
Right.
he rightfully should. I don't think anybody would even pitch. I'm sure maybe
No.
it has been pitched by some dummies.
Oh,
out there.
sure. When
But
you saw the
do
deep fake
not.
of Robert Downey Jr. as Doc Brown and whatever the
Don't.
kid from Spider-Man as
No,
Marty.
no.
Okay,
No.
so how about Running Man?
Sure.
Could that be done?
Yeah, I think so.
Who-
The
Okay.
storyline is interesting.
I mean, because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the original. I mean, you need like a buff guy like a Chris Helmsworth or
No,
just put the Rock in there.
yeah, you could do something. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
It's an interesting story. Arnold
Sure.
made it very good. I loved him in that role. It was great. It was an entertaining movie. And
A fun movie.
Richard Dawson was fantastic as the game show host. Because obviously that
Even
was
as a
he
kid,
did that.
at the end, when he stabs the dude with the pen writing on his back, I cringed. I still, to this day, if I see that scene, I cringe. Nick,
I mean,
have you ever seen Running Man?
No, I have not.
You have to
Okay.
see it. It's a great, fun, goofy 80s movie.
sci-fi. Yeah.
Arnold and
Okay.
he's just making he's just
Well, you've got sci-fi and you've got Arnold, so I mean, I'm in. I'll watch that.
absolutely right.
Jesse the Body Ventura is in it.
Yeah, Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. Oh yeah, yeah. The cast is awesome.
Yeah, but you could remake it.
Okay. Let's go. You know what? I'm going to jump ahead because I don't know the time here. Clue. Would
Yeah.
you, or
Yeah,
I know you could, but would you? You didn't like Clue?
it's not necessary. I mean, it's
You know what they got now? They got the Thousand Knives or Long Knives or whatever it is with Daniel
Sure.
Craig. It's sort of the new
Clue-esque.
Clue-esque, and that's perfectly great. Him and
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis and that cast is to let that do something like that. You don't
But
need
it
to call
needs to
it
be
Clue.
a comedy. But it needs to be a comedy.
This is a comedy.
I see. I think you could redo Clue with, like, you could put together like a ridiculous all-star cast and
You
make
could.
a fantastic movie because the premise and the jokes and the stuff, I think it could work.
Yeah, you can't say that. Oh my God, no one can ever play Mrs. White like Madeline
No.
Kahn. She was great in the role. She's a great comedic
the flames,
actress.
the flames.
Yeah, but I guess
Yeah,
it's just not
The
necessary.
whole movie is so amazing and funny and quotable. I
Tim
love that
Curry is
movie.
the butler. I mean, again,
Yes.
you don't need to do it. You don't need to mess with it.
You don't need to, but I'm saying, could you and would you be
It would not
okay
be-
with it?
It would not be blasphemous like Back to the Future. It's not
Okay.
not the same level at all.
There
No.
you go.
Mhm.
All right. What about
it's a weird movie.
what?
It is.
Clue?
Clue.
It is.
It's so
You
good.
made us watch it at our house a couple
did.
years ago, and I'm like,
I
what
sure
the fuck
did.
has happened? Like that.
I sure did.
I'm like, I wouldn't be mad to see it be remade, but I don't know why anybody would want to remake it. Like it was just like
Oh, come
it's
on.
here, but I don't need it in my life.
Well, the
Yeah.
rumor is they're having Jason Bateman write and direct it.
Okay, if
That's
somebody
the
could
running
write it
rumors
good,
that-
I might.
that-
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you ever see Ozarks, you know that he's pretty good at writing and directing. All right. Let me move over to no reboots. Like you said, I have a list
Okay.
of things. Star Wars. There's been the recent chatter online of rebooting A New Hope
No.
with new actors.
They already did it. They already did that. It's called The Force Awakens. They already rebooted A New Hope.
Yeah,
They
it's
literally,
very
they like
true.
legitimately. That's what the fuck it was. That's
Yeah,
why
very-
everybody liked it. It was this,
Yep.
like the same
Very true.
thing.
Okay.
I would be all for them rebooting the last 3 movies.
Yes.
Sure.
Get rid of them. Get rid of them.
What about and I don't know if you've heard this rumor, but Every Which Way But Loose.
Oh yeah.
Every which
Sure.
way but loose.
Again,
Uh,
not necessary, but you can
But
have
it
a
would-
gruff dude with an
Okay.
orangutan going
But
around
it could-
fighting people.
But
It's fine.
would it work today
No,
with the
it's a
orangutan and stuff? Would it be
it's
too
a-
cheesy?
it's a weird current concept. It fit
It
well
is.
in the 70s.
That's why I would say no, is because I don't think it could work. It worked in the 70s.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work today.
Unless you set it maybe in that time period.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Or if you want to make it really goofy, you like some of these other movies we talked about, to where you have a guy that's like from the 70s, like he's that gruff 70-ish type dude with an orangutan, and he comes out to. But again, who the fuck is fighting in a back alley? And it just is that really happening? If you
yeah.
made an MMA
John
fighter, sure. If you made it like
And with the orangutan,
like
I'm
an
in.
MMA fighter type deal or something weird, like I don't know. But again, not necessary.
Okay.
No one's looking for that movie to be rebooted. It's just not. It's no one cares.
All right. So to finish this up, gentlemen, I got a few that I'll run through. Comment if you need to. In the works. This is just out of a couple websites I looked through.
These are
Ace
accurate.
Ventura. Yeah, that they're talking about that they're either writing.
I'm not mad at a
or-
reboot on that, but I.
Well,
Okay,
I think some
I'd
of
listen,
these, that might be the one that might be one of those where they're going to do a sequel, and they just got added into this list. I don't think they're
Oh,
going to
okay.
reboot and change.
Okay.
You know,
Do we need to see 50-year-old Jim Carrey doing
do
Ace
you remember?
Ventura?
Do you remember what I told you, Brian, at the theater? When Mission Impossible goddamn sequel trailer
Yeah.
came up. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? How fucking many can you do? That's like Fast and Furious. Like,
Yeah.
how many more do you need?
Well, people are looking for those, though. No one's looking for an Ace Ventura sequel.
True.
Or a reboot, necessarily. I mean, the first one was fun.
It's like making an Austin
Second
Powers
one
movie,
sucked,
another Austin
totally.
Powers movie now. It's like, okay, like leave it where it
Right.
was, I think.
Right.
That's,
You know,
I
They
agree
were
with
great. They were great, but leave them where they were.
Yep.
Like, let it
Leave
go.
them in your memory.
Yeah.
Enjoy them.
Yeah.
Go back to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, you'll
Right.
appreciate this. American Werewolf in London, I guess the reboot is in works. You excited? Could it work? I mean,
Yeah. Again, not necessary.
well, sure.
The
Well,
first
none of them necessary. I mean,
the first one is. The first one's a good movie. It's a nice blend of comedy and horror.
Yeah.
David Naughton. I watched this actually. Alan and I watched this. She had never seen it before. We watched it within the last summer or two. And again, it's just what made that movie so good is that the special effects at the time. This is pre CGI, and they had to build the complex models and makeup and everything to have that was one of the best at the time, and arguably, maybe to this day, the best werewolf transformation movie scene,
sure.
maybe in history, was that scene with him turning into that wolf. It was a whole different. It was more wolf-like, as you know.
And only coming in second place, Teen Wolf 2, Jason Bateman.
No. But you know what I'm saying. But they had to build the.
You're over your Jason Bateman reference limits for this segment.
I love Jason Bateman, and I will reference him as much as I can.
Yeah. So anyway, not necessarily. They should not do that because of what I just said. Because it would be a CGI transformation. All that it takes away. That was part of the charm of that first, and the amazement of that first movie was the complex transformation scene.
Right. Okay, so a couple more, and we can call it a night here. Big Trouble in Little China.
Shouldn't do it.
I agree. Leave that one.
Yeah, it's that again. That movie.
Memory. It's
kind
not
of a
great,
cult,
but it's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a cult classic type movie. Kurt Russell was so great in that role, and again, and all the actors in that were great. It's just again not necessary. Just there's
Correct.
no purpose of it.
That is the correct answer.
All right. I got a few. You don't have to comment too much here. I got some of the best.
There you go.
Okay. Some of the best remakes. Okay.
Okay. Your turn.
All right. The Fly. 1986.
That's actually the one. The next one I was going to go to.
That was a remake.
Yes, it was.
Did not know that.
The original was
Vincent
back in
Price.
back in the 50s or whatever it was, but the Jeff Goldblum version in 86, terrific. He was great in that, and then the special effects were awesome. It was a whole darker,
just to give you
transformation,
an idea
stuff.
of who is who, Nick. At the end of Thriller, or actually the beginning of Thriller, the man giving the speech in the beginning of Thriller.
Vincent Price. Yeah, the Thriller.
Vincent Price was the Jeff Goldblum character in the 50s movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. I think one of the best reboots that they ever did was the Planet of the Apes. The original Planet of the Apes movie is the original Planet of the Apes movie of Charlton Heston, 1968, is terrific, even to this day. Holds up well. The messaging. Rod Serling did the screenplay from the Twilight Zone.
Sequels, but
Wait. So you're saying you're saying best remakes?
Best. The Planet of the Apes, the trilogy they did.
So you're saying Marky Mark was the best?
No,
that's
not
what
that
I'm
one's
wondering.
horrible.
Okay.
No,
So the ones with
Andy
Charlton.
Serkis. Andy Serkis as Caesar the ape. Those three movies.
Okay. Dean, my brain went the same place because I was like, you know what?
That's okay.
I forgot to bring that up on one of my worst reboots.
The Mark Wahlberg
the Tim Burton Mark Wahlberg one.
Garbage.
Really, really bad. That's up there with my
Garbage.
worst reboots. Yeah. Okay.
So I agree with
No,
you.
you're
that
right.
one's
though.
garbage.
Yep. The reboots with the Caesar. Yeah, that's all good.
That would be about the same as if you try to remake Convincing Idiots without me.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody needs that, wants that.
Couple other ones. The
Everybody froze. Oh, you did.
That's all right.
Moving past.
So I'm a huge fan of the Evil Dead movies with Bruce Campbell. Okay, they did a remake in 2013 of the Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
That remake hit a lot of different things. It paid terrific homage to the original,
Mhm.
that a more modern take on the story, and it was awesome. If you love that, Sam Raimi, I think, was a producer, or Bruce Campbell might have been a producer, but they were, some of the original were involved there. But it was a terrific remake and a more modern one. So if you like that franchise at all, I thought they
I did see that one.
very well.
Oddly enough, I haven't seen the original, but I've seen like the new one. So that's my only like experience with Evil Dead.
Watch
But
the
it
original. If you
wasn't
like the
bad.
remake at all, go back and watch the original. And you'll appreciate, I think, the remake even more.
Yeah.
I thought the Halloween movie Rob Zombie in 2007.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dog
That
shit.
was really good. The original.
Oh. The second one was not good, but the Rob Zombie.
The first one he did, I liked a lot.
And you got the whole the backstory of Michael Myers, which you had not seen before. It showed him as a kid growing up, and you got a taste of how he became what he became. I thought they did that very, very well.
That's probably my favorite like Halloween movie but it's kind of biased because it was done more recently. It's not older and cheesier and like silly. Like it's a little more up to date thriller. Like, go ahead and do your dance, Dean. But it was.
No, I'm just
a little
amazed
more
that you guys,
updated.
how much you guys enjoyed it. I did not.
Really? Yeah, I liked it a lot.
The Spider-Man Homecoming 2017.
Sure.
When they got past again, Andrew Garfield was a terrific Spider-Man. The writing and the storyline was off the rails, horrible. But the reboot Spider-Man is the young kid again in the new Marvel universe.
Yep.
Just completely wiped away all the bad stuff for this
Homecoming might be Homecoming's like potentially top 3 superhero movies for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's up there.
That's
I don't
reasonable.
know, but it's definitely top 5. But Homecoming specifically I was shocked at how good it was.
Sure,
because I didn't see it till later, and I was like, nobody told me how fucking awesome this movie is. Like it's hilarious and it's heartfelt.
Everybody
and
told me how
everything was
awesome
like,
it was, and I'm like, yeah, I get.
yeah.
I don't believe you. And I was wrong.
I just wasn't ready for another reboot at the time, but at the same time, I mean, I just maybe I was late to the party, but fuck, I was like, damn, it was really good.
Needed to be done.
Yeah,
look at that. We both got convinced.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 more for you. I kind of forgot about this one. 1991, Robert De Niro, Cape Fear. Did you ever see the Robert De Niro Cape Fear movie?
Yes.
So Nick, again, this is another one where I think the original was in the 60s, I think.
Okay.
So it's not in the sense of compare it to the original type deal, but just that this movie, Robert De Niro is so creepy in this movie. It's like it's another one of those movies to where this can happen. He's like an obsessive. He's an obsessive. I can't remember who he was stalking. He was stalking the family.
Not Julie. Louise Dreyfus.
The wife or the daughter?
No, the daughter.
He was stalking the daughter.
Well, it's actually more the husband and his family. Like he wasn't like it wasn't a sexual thing of like the daughter or the mother. It was he was trying to terrorize the family of the prosecutor.
That's right.
Who was
It
who's
doesn't
the prosecutor?
It's fine, but
okay, you did that.
A very good like mental type thriller. Those movies really freak me out because you can picture anything you can picture really happening.
Nick
That's
Nolte.
right. Yes, that's right. That's right.
And Julia Lewis was the daughter.
Right. That's right. That's right. But you can think about it. It's like if you wanted to torment people, it's people. They're powerless. There's only so much they could do to keep somebody away.
Right.
And he knows this. Yes, he knows this, and really very, very creepy role and terrific acted role for Robert De Niro. And maybe the best remake of all time, in my opinion. And I just went to the theater within the last couple of weeks and saw the 40th anniversary on the big screen, which was a terrific experience. I don't think I talked about this. It was one of those Fandango special events that they have.
Was this
you
one
know?
of those porn movies you went and saw?
No.
Okay, all right.
Still looks good. Still
Yep.
looks good. 40th anniversary.
First time seeing it on the big screen, which I thoroughly enjoyed. 1982, John Carpenter, The Thing.
Okay.
With
Oh,
Kurt Russell was actually a remake.
really?
Oh yeah, it was the original was in the 55, 57, something
Oh,
like
shit.
that.
I remember. I think
Love
it was
that
on
movie.
probably Big Chuck and Little John seeing The Thing, the black and white one.
Oh yeah,
back in
okay,
the day.
that's right.
Huh.
You know,
So-
they're also doing they're on that list that I had, the Blob. They're redoing the Blob.
And that's fine. They
Yeah,
they
that's
remade
a
it.
good one. Yeah.
The original was good with Steve McQueen, and they had one in the 80s, The
Mhm.
Blob. But that's
It was
just the
Jennifer Aniston, right?
I don't remember.
If I remember
saw,
correctly. Was
I
her
saw the
first
one in the-
movie?
I don't remember. I saw the one in the 80s. It was fine, but yeah, The
Nick
Thing
timed out.
82, terrific movie. Yeah, maybe the best remake, not a reboot.
Sure.
That was a remake. So
Sure.
that's what I got.
Yeah.
There's a lot more out there, but
It is. I think this was a good discussion, fellas.
Well, I've
Yeah.
got a real quick shout out as far as
Please.
as long as we're on some of the best remakes.
please.
I would like to give a shout out real quick to what Disney has been doing with some of their animated
The live
movies
action?
that and doing live action versions. Not all of them are hits. Like, I mean, The Lion King was one of my favorites as a kid, but it was like pretty much verbatim like the animated one, but CGI, and like that
I
was
like
fine.
that.
It
I
was
like
good, but it was like literally no different, and it was
Right.
exactly like frame for frame, pretty much the same movie. But I really like the Jungle Book. I like
Yeah.
the characters they cast in it. I like the way
I
that
agree.
they did it. But my favorite, hands down, is Aladdin. I thought they did an exceptional job.
I
with
didn't
Aladdin.
see that one.
They added songs.
Hmm.
Naomi Scott, who I love so dearly, as Princess Jasmine. But they did a really nice take on it. And they changed some things. They made Jasmine more of a hero in this movie, and the live action Aladdin reboot is fucking fantastic. I mean, we watch
Okay.
it pretty frequently. It's on pretty heavy rotation here at
I
the
haven't
house.
watched
But
it only
a
for
lot
the
of
simple
the-
fact of how do you replace
Robin
Robin
Williams.
Williams?
that is I mean, with another
He is that movie.
dynamo of right. But I mean, Will Smith does great as the genie. I
Okay.
mean, I was a little hesitant, but it's really well done, and it's funny. It's heartfelt, and I really, that of all the live action adaptations of Disney classics, that one has been hands down my favorite. But I did really like the Jungle Book as well. But
Okay.
I think Disney's done a really good job with a lot of those, with a lot of the live action ones. I haven't seen Mulan, but I really wasn't a big fan of that one in the first place. But
Sure.
a lot of the ones that I've seen that they've done have been really good.
I'm interested. We've talked about it before, but I'm interested later this year, the live action version of Pinocchio, also with the great Tom Hanks as Geppetto. If
Hold on,
if
did it?
He's got to pee. Also, another one I wanted to bring up: The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler and stuff. That I liked that remake of it a lot, and Burt Reynolds was in it and things like that. But
I
I
did
thought
like
it was
how they
good.
incorporated Burt Reynolds as the coach. Yeah,
yeah, that was funny.
Again, it wasn't like unheard of that you should
No.
not reboot The Longest Yard. That was definitely a movie of its time, because that was
Sure.
I do like the Burt Reynolds one. I love the football game and all that, but it was definitely it did not age well. A lot of the stuff in that movie. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also really liked another horror movie that was redone was the Amityville Horror that they did with Ryan Reynolds. I
Okay.
liked that one a lot. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not, but I thought it was really eerie and creepy, and I really like the Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. It was probably, I don't know, early to mid 2000s that was made,
Yeah.
but I like that one a lot.
I have to watch that because I thought in my mind that was completely unnecessary to redo the
It
Amityville
probably
Horror.
was. It probably
But
was.
But honestly, I went back and watched a couple years ago the original,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like not good.
Really?
It was not.
I
Good.
agree.
It was not that scary.
So have you watched the Ryan Reynolds one recently?
I
Okay.
didn't because I'm like, well, you don't need to redo this because the original was so scary,
Now I know
but
what we're talking
it wasn't that good. So I will go back and watch that Ryan Reynolds one. If it's
I remember
scarier,
liking that one a lot. It was
the original. You're talking about Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Well, he said that he liked the remake with Ryan Reynolds.
With Ryan Reynolds. I did like that.
I said the
I've
original
actually
was
never
not
seen
good.
Oh, really?
Hold on. You're saying the original's not good?
No.
The original might be, from my childhood, might be the scariest movie I've seen as a kid.
Yes, exactly. As a kid. If you go back and trust me on this, go back and watch it.
I have. And it's
when?
Yes. A couple years ago. It was on whatever. And again, you're right. Not a great movie.
No.
But still, the scarier scenes did work.
Okay.
So but it is the scariest movie from my childhood.
Let's table that topic. Maybe that's a Halloween topic again to get into the scary. We talked about our favorite horror movies, but scariest.
But Nick's got to make sure he wears that shirt again because that's frightening.
Mm-hmm. Pretty frightening. Yeah.
Scary.
If you're frightened by the original Amityville Horror as an adult, then I see where his shirt would scare you.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a Skeletor on his chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, anything else?
That's about it for me. I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to shout out the Disney ones. I think they're doing a good job with the remakes and stuff like that. But yeah.
One actually, you mentioned that real quick. The Tim Burton Dumbo remake, the live action.
That was one of the first ones they did.
I had higher expectations. That's on my not so good list.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little weird.
I didn't see it.
Not needed.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Don't need to see it.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else here, guys? So then it's late. Anything?
Well, I have 236 more entries, but I'll table them for another day.
If you must, I suppose.
If I must.
Now they should redo Gone with the Wind. Now hear me out.
Mm-hmm. Let me go scene by scene. Why?
Right. Oprah Winfrey
as Brett Butler. Now listen.
Adam Sandler.
Scarlett O'Hara.
Yeah.
Oh, frankly, my dear, nobody gives a damn.
Yeah. I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's doable. Good. I love it. I love it.
I think we're
all
on
right.
something.
Yes, it's good. Adam Sandler just in every reboot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just do it. Just make it happen. He has some type of role. Some type of role in every reboot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boys, we've done enough work today.
Yes,
I'm
we have.
tired. You're tired. Let's go home and have sex with our wives.
That's right.
Sorry, listener. You're going to have to get out of there. We've got to go to the bed.
You stepped on my clue joke. Anyways.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not that anybody would have fucking got it, but
yeah, we're gonna shoot folks 3 alternate endings of this podcast.
Right.
And depending on which region of the world that you're listening or watching, will be the alternate ending that you have, similar to Clue.
I don't want to give away what region is what, but when you find the one where Nick's in a bra and panties, you win.
You live in Canada.
That's the best one.
That's right. And if you're in the U.S., then you might be hearing how Dean, as an adult, is still frightened by the original Amityville Horror movie.
I didn't say that I was frightened by it. I said it.
Noted adult pant wetter, Zennial Dean.
That's right.
I am, but that has nothing to do with that movie.
Yep.
Not from that movie.
That has everything to do with my alcoholism.
That's right. All right, so Nick has been away for a couple weeks, Dean.
Yes.
And partly, what he's been doing.
I already know what this ends, how this ends, buddy.
Go ahead, please.
Are we on the same page?
I don't know. I have no idea.
This outro, well, how Nick is going to read us the outro.
Okay.
as Adam Sandler, right? I mean, does it end any other way?
Okay. All right.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. He's going to be in every reboot pitch that we have.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
In some
We got to
role.
keep him working. We got to keep him in the movies, and we got to keep him in the Convincing
He's-
Idiots outros.
He's
So-
poor. He needs the money.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, would anyone like to ask Adam Sandler where we can be found?
Adam, if I was to look for Convincing Idiots, where would I look? How would I find them?
Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go on to the computer and go and Convincing Idiots, and you're gonna Google over the Convincing Idiots Linktree, LINKTREE, and then you're gonna find all the little links to the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram, and then you're gonna like and you're gonna subscribe and all that good stuff. Because we need the likes, we need the subscription. And then you're gonna go over to our website, convincingidiots.com. No, it's not. It's not convincingidiots.com. You know why? Because we were not first to that domain. So you're gonna go to convincingidiots.wordpress.com, and there you're gonna find all of the same information for you to find. So you can go on to the website and you can like, you can subscribe, you can rate and review all day long. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am a millennial. My name is Nicholas.
Millennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we all convinced you that Adam Sandler belongs in every little reboot that Hollywood has to offer?
Everybody, Gen X Brian with Millennial Nick and Zennial Dean. You know, we need more people besides Nick's mom watching us. Give us a like and subscribe.
Ham gravy.